Hi everyone, good afternoon. My topic of the presentation will be mapping strategies for reaching socioeconomically disadvantaged population in clinical trials. So through this presentation, I will walk you through the findings of a recent survey which analyzed the difference in implementation of certain strategies that are actually used by nonprofit and for-profit organizations for increasing the enrollment of socioeconomically disadvantaged populations in clinical research. So first of all, what is importance of socio-economically disadvantaged group as well as this survey? So it has been seen that interest in increasing the improvement of representation of underrepresented communities is so high in pharmaceutical companies that we have understanding of gender and racial disparities and as well as their role in clinical research. In fact, FDA also issued a guidelines on implementing like diversity action plans to increase the enrollment of underrepresented communities in clinical research, which was, I think, issued in June 2024. But the efforts to recruit other historical disadvantaged groups like socioeconomically disadvantaged group is still lacking in clinical research. Even the FDA, which acknowledged socioeconomic status as a barrier in clinical research in 2014, has not provided any guidance on this yet. So first of all, what is socioeconomically disadvantaged group? These are those people who have low income and low educational attainment. So, and it has been seen that they are less likely participate in clinical research despite of being fact that they have more chronic medical conditions as compared to the people who have like high income and high educational attainment. So ways to improve the representation of socioeconomically disadvantaged patients in clinical trials deserve attention. And the objective of this survey is to examine whether the current recruitment and enrollment strategies used by US clinical research sites appropriately include the patient from this background or not. So in study design, this was the online survey, which was conducted between April and July 2023, and it was conducted by Tufts University. So it was developed by Tufts Center for the Study of Drug Development Research team, following the guidelines from American Association for Public Opinion Research. And this whole survey was approved by Institutional Review Board at Tufts University. So this survey included 14 strategies that were distributed among the various sites of US research sites, and to explore whether there is the use of those strategies in those sites or not. So these sites included non-profit sites as well and for-profit sites as well. And these 14 strategies were included in the survey very strategically. So basically, first the researchers researched the literature and found the data from 2004 to I guess 2023, and then they developed and they shortlisted those 14 strategies, and then they sent those strategies to different pharmaceutical companies for their validation. And once they get approved, the whole study was then approved by IRB. So there were 13 pharmaceutical companies and one clinical research organization which were involved in this survey. And the data analysis was performed between August to September 2023. And on the right-hand side in this table, these are those 14 shortlisted strategies that were like maintaining communication with the patient who have interest in clinical research, then using electronic health records, and then launching digital recruitment campaigns, offering transportation services, offering home visits, telephone visits or video calls, and many more. So this survey included various questions. So questions related to like 19 questions were related to site characteristics, like what kind of site is it? Is it an academic site or a private site? Then ownership type, like for-profit like private clinics, hospitals, or dedicated research sites. Then non-profit organization like university-affiliated hospitals and clinics. Then site size, which was measured by number of trials going on that site, and site zip code, which was used to know the geographical location of that site. This survey also collected the information related to primary therapeutic areas which that site was working on, and as well as the roles of the survey respondents. There was also a data that was related to site capabilities to recruit and support the clinical trial participants. So that capabilities were basically previously identified recruitment strategies. And then the statistical analysis was performed. That was two-sided chi-square testing, which compared the data of for-profit and non-profit organization, which included the data related to implementation of community partnerships, then strategies to improve socioeconomic representation, and then data related to socio-demographic and socioeconomic status of patients. So frequencies, proportions, and p-values were calculated, and p-value that was more than 0.05 was considered as significant. And this whole analysis was done between August and September. Then from this whole survey, four findings were found. So first aspect was description of respondents and research sites, then differences in recruitment strategies between for-profit and non-profit organizations, then demographic data of the patient, and then partnership between the research sites and community organization. So first one, the description of respondents and research sites. So there were total 6,690 sites that participated in the survey, out of which there were 492 responses from 381 sites. And out of these 492 responses, 390 respondents provide the information on their role, whether they are principal investigators or clinical research coordinators, assistant, or any administrator. Then 377 respondents included zip code, and 372 sites out of 381 were located in 42 states of US. And the whole data was compiled together. So this is a table 1, which shows the whole data. First of all, according to the role of the respondents, there were principal investigators, there were clinical research coordinators, administrators like clinical operation manager, or maybe assistant site director, research manager, and many more. And it has been seen that principal investigator were the most common among other people who responded to this survey. Also, according to the states of the US, 42 states, they have found that southern part of the US was among the most who participated in this survey. There were also categorization on the basis of site type, like if it is a university affiliated site or dedicated research site, private site, or is it a kind of clinics, hospitals, and then the data was compiled from that as well. And according to the 42 states who participated in the US, and on the basis of zip code that was provided by 377 respondents, it has been found that mostly the sites which were located in the urban area participated more in this survey. Similarly, the categorization was also done according to the therapeutic services provided by those sites, and it has been seen that the sites who were working on oncology and hematology, they did participate in the trial mostly most often as compared to the other ones. So this one was another analysis of this survey, which was differences in the recruitment strategies between for-profit and non-profit organization, and the most important aspect of this survey as well. So as I've already mentioned, chi-square testing was done, and it has been found that 9 of the 14 strategies were most often followed by both of the organization, and 8 of these 9 strategies were most often adopted by the for-profit ones. So these all 14 strategies were categorized into 3 forms. One is planning and monitoring strategy, then recruitment strategy, and then access strategy. And it has been seen that planning and monitoring strategies were most often used by the for-profit organization as compared to the non-profit ones, as it is evident from this table, like collected data on sites patient population to develop trial recruitment plans. So there were like 61% of for-profit organizations that took part into this, that had these data as compared to the non-profit ones. And then again, for the communication with the patient, 89% of for-profit done this. Similarly, tracked health disparities, 35% of the for-profit organizations included that data into the survey. And for the recruitment strategies, almost both of the organization performed the recruitment strategies that included like getting electronic health records, then implementation of digital recruitment campaigns and traditional media recruitment campaigns. And it has been seen that in case of electronic health records, non-profit organizations were involved as compared to the for-profit ones. And the other strategies that were strategies related to accessibility, like after hours visit, daycare visit, which is considered as most important strategies to increase the enrollment of such minority groups. And it has been seen that they are most oftenly followed by for-profit organizations as compared to the non-profit ones. The other results were on the basis of demographic data that was collected by the research sites. So the demographic data included like age, race, sexual orientation, educational status, employment status, then any health insurance related status, caregiving status, and many more. So it has been seen that age was the most frequently collected demographic data, followed by race, gender, disability status, and English language proficiency. But it is very evident from this table that both the organizations did not collect much data for annual household income. That is very important for determining the strategies for socioeconomically disadvantaged groups. So information related to patient SES that included employment status, annual household income, educational attainment, health insurance coverage, caregiving status were least often collected by both of the sites. That was fewer than 10% of the sites. Then is partnership between research sites and community organization. So nonprofit or governmental sites reported that they did not have any partnership with community organization except patient advocacy groups, patient advocacy and family groups, and National Health Organization. So it is clear from this table that non-profit governmental organizations have more collaboration with patient and family advocacy groups and National Health Organization as compared to the for-profit ones, whereas for-profit sites have more collaboration with civic organization, faith-based organization, health communities, collaboration with the schools or other service organizations. So this was whole about the survey, and the key findings from this whole survey is first that this survey uncovered several differences in recruitment strategies, especially focusing on strategies that were related to accessibility. And it has been seen for-profit organizations were most likely to implement those strategies as compared to the non-profit one. Second is, again, compared with non-profit, for-profit more often provided after-hour visits, financial compensation, and help with transportation. Third point is most sites, regardless of site ownership, reported that they regularly maintained communication with the patients who expressed interest in participating in a clinical trial. This is, I believe, is a controversial statement because in spite of being mentioning that they have communicated with the patient, but there is still very less involvement of underrepresented communities focusing on socio-economically disadvantaged communities in clinical research. So it can be a controversial statement. Lastly, it is found that most studies, whether they are for-profit or non-profit, do not consistently collect data on patient socioeconomic status. So this finding mirrors previous research showing that among phase 3 trials, there are fewer than 5% of studies that report patient SES information. So the next point is, while most sites collected data on patients' age, race, gender, most reported that they did not collect information beyond three variables. For example, less than half of for-profit as well as non-profit organizations collected data on patients' education level or their any information related to income. And it is believed that these are the most important determinants, not only for the health or for knowing the health literacy or other outcomes, but also for participation in clinical trials. I believe the limitations of this survey was, first, this analysis was limited to self-reported measures. So there was no validation over if they are providing right information or not. So there can be human errors, there can be reporting errors. The second limitation was that the most survey respondents were located in the southern part of the US. So results may not generalize to all the research sites present in US. And in the conclusion, it is being concluded that in this survey, we found that for-profit sites more often implemented strategies such as at-home visits, after-hours visits to accommodate patients than non-profit ones. That suggests that for-profit sites may be a better option for increasing the representation of such minority groups. However, regardless of ownership type, most of the research sites did not collect data over the socioeconomic status of the patients. And also, I believe adoption of strategies to engage socioeconomically diverse population, particularly by nonprofit or governmental sites, may help minimize barriers to participation for such minority groups. So it was all about this survey. Thank you so much. If you guys have any question, please feel free to ask.
Thank you.